Good afternoon. My name is Madeline Gruselle, and I'm an undergraduate student at Northern Michigan University in the Department of Zoology. I am also currently enrolled in the Principles of Ecology course. For my research project this semester, I investigated variation in the relative abundance among bobcats, coyotes, and mule deer in respect to the amount of forest coverage. I did this in order to learn more about how different species interact with one another across the United States, and to hopefully provide critical insight to issues surrounding environmental variation. I selected these species for my project due to their differing diets. With one being a carnivore, one an omnivore, and the other an herbivore, they represent interesting facets of the community due to their respective places in the food chain. Their diets usually lead them towards different grounds from one another, often with differences in forest coverage. The deer and bobcat, for example, prefer the denser foliage for separate reasons, while the coyote leans towards sparser cover. That being said, the forest densities likely affect them all differently due to their dependence on it for sustenance. To achieve my goal, I used Snapshot USA camera trap data from 2019 to 2020. This allowed me to calculate relative abundance for my 3 species, and to examine the differences between those years among my target taxa. For data analysis, I calculated the number of detections per 100 trap nights for each of my species at Snapshot USA sites across the Pacific Northwest region. I then used a paired t-test to determine whether my target taxa experienced any changes. Finally, I created graphs as seen on my poster for each species to represent my results. In the end, I found that neither the bobcat, coyote, nor mule deer populations' relative abundances differed across varying forest-covered densities. Based on these results, my hypothesis that all 3 would be affected by this environmental factor was not supported. I believe one potential reason for the results could be adaptation. If their environment has recently changed within the last decade, for example due to natural or human causes, they may have relocated and learned to adapt to different amounts of forest cover. Therefore, to learn more about the ecology of my species, future research should investigate their behavioral patterns in reference to human activity and/or extreme weather activity in the area. In closing, I want to thank the Snapshot USA collaborative team for granting me access to this incredible dataset, as well as my professor, Dr. Lafferty, for creating this opportunity for professional development, and my TA, Livia Coletta, for helping me bring my project to completion. Thank you.